In the bottom right, in the blue, he's down. Well, actually not down at all. In game 1 of our series for Dragon Kites of Gaming, it's Hero. And of course, in the upper left, in the red, looking for that HeroMarine record now, it's Clem. Oh my. This one, again, this is going to be fun. I don't know what's going to happen here. PvT, the meta has been really in flux pretty much since the patch. There have been some ideas. I think it's pretty clear. I think it's fairly obvious that Stargate openers, for the most part, aren't very good. They've kind of been taken by the wayside a little bit. Just because you can reactively build cyclones, run across the map, kill them. Other than that, I don't necessarily have a really solid pulse on the meta on the new patch just yet, but this is a good way to take a look at it, as it's also important to talk about how these players match up. Hero and Clem, they play a decent amount for playing cross server. They play 19 times, and it has been Hero favored, but Legulax's still going to say this is Clem favored. Clem's PvT, or Clem's TVP, is very good. Has always been very good, will always be probably very good. And you know, given the GSL results recently, oh no. Again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I don't think that looking at 12 games or whatever it is of PvT and GSL is enough to really draw any conclusions, especially because GSL is this heavily preparation based format and it's all about group draw, and the player base is so small. But again, it has been 11-1 is still a pretty strong matchup differential, pretty bad win rate for Protoss players. And actually, Hero is opening Stargate, despite how we can talk about how it really doesn't feel that Stargate is incredibly viable, given you can reactively reactor out cyclones and go from there and just find all this pressure. Well, for now, it's double Reapers coming out of Clem as he looks to find his way onto the other side, looking for just that whatever pressure he can find. But there's an adept on the high ground here, so 2 shots go down. KD8 charge doesn't zone out, really just because Here's a little slow on things. 1 probe goes down, but now here's the Reaper. It's dead. Hellions in the Naturals trying to find more. 3 probes go down early. Make it 4. He's gonna get 5. Actually, you know, he might even get more than that. This is ridiculous. Hero, I'm not gonna say he's dead because he's very good, but this is 5 dead probes so early into this game. Hero just wasn't ready at all. He didn't. He was not prepared for the shenanigans of 2 Reapers in the main and a Hellion in the natural, and now this Oracle is gonna have to do so much heavy lifting. But already there's the. I mean, he's gonna get the Reaper. There's a Cyclone out. There's a second Cyclone on the way. Vikings are getting made. This is not going to find any value at all here. And now Clem is just in this incredible situation. Briefly, he was even on workers with a Protoss player who has Chrono and Clem doesn't. Hero, he's building Phoenix behind this just kind of as his only solution. More barracks on the way in the main. Oh man, I don't know what his response is going to have to be at this point. 6, what was this? 5 probes going down is just such a tremendous expenditure. We're gonna have to see what exactly happens. So for now, 3rd base on the way. It's a little slow, but again, 5 probes for really minimal gain, for really not really all that much is significant. So for now, Hellion dives in, will fall down there. Oracle, at least always just about as strong as it has ever been defensively, until the Cyclones pop out. But behind this, Clem's getting ready for a push. Stim, 1/3 of the way done, +1 on the way. 3-1-1 set up for Clem. And given the state of this game, run across the map when your Stim is done is going to be a really hard concept for Hero to stop. Now, he's got Phoenixes. He's built 3 of them. He's got more on the way. But he needs some ground tech. He needs charge. I think that's what Clem's going to go, or Hero's going to go for. Charge +1 armor, something like that. Just really, as quick as you can, bulk. Answer questions about what you have to do later. But for now, Hellions, they're going to show up in the main base here, and it's going to be a full scout. He's going to see the Phoenix play. Now that may change the way Clem wants to play this. Because if charge is done, if +1 is done, attacker armor, kind of, they can go both ways, armor in this case. If that's done and Clem runs across the map and Hero finds enough units, that could be a really hard setup for Clem to run back or to run away from. It's almost impossible to run away from Cyclone, or excuse me, not from Cyclone, from Zealot Phoenix. It just really doesn't work super well. But if Clem decides to turtle up at this point, he doesn't have to attack right now. He's totally fine. He can just sit here defensively, build some tanks, build some Widow Mines, build up a wall, get his third base, go from there. And Hero is going to find himself rapidly in this situation. The Widow Mine will get taken down here. Nice job, Hero. But Hero will rapidly find himself in this situation where he just times out. His build just runs out of steam as now. This is going to be a dead Phoenix for Hero. Overcommitting. Now, if we want to talk about PvT win rates, we want to talk about how maybe the Protoss is not doing all that well. This doesn't go in a balance category. This goes into Clem killing Hero with like 3 units early on because Hero just wasn't paying attention properly. This is not a balance consideration. This is not, wow, Terran's Imba because Protoss can't defend against a 2-base push when they take their third. I'm sorry, if you lose 5 workers to the first couple Reapers in a Hellion, that's not about, that's a skill issue. That being said though, Hero on the other side doing what he can to shut down as many reinforcements as possible, and he is committed pretty heavily to the Phoenix count here. He's on 6, he had 7. He's gonna lift a lot of these units on the reinforcement lines. The Phoenix are getting low, but the Widow Mines will die. That's a big deal. That being said though, Clem on the other side, 3 medevacs going into the main base here because the Phoenix, they're on the other side. There is not a lot here in the main base right now for Hero to look to defend. The push at the front was stasis trapped a little bit, but the target fire on the Templar Archives means no storms today, tomorrow, or the day after here. No Archons as well. It's just going to be Charge Lots. It's just going to be Phoenixes. And yeah, eventually this is going to get found out here. In fact, 1 medevac goes low, will fall. But here comes the main army of Clem right now. Hero's supply is decent, and Clem probably going to have to back up. And actually, again, this is where it gets scary. If the Zealots get on top of this army, the Phoenix kill the medevacs. This is where things get really scary. But right now, Widow Mines are going to be really, really nice. But again, the medevacs, they keep falling down. And Clem on the retreat is trying to bleed Hero dry. Hero, though, having none of it. Not right now. Trying to flood the game across the map right now. SCVs about to take a big shot, but none of them fall. And there is even still the Widow Mines. They eat shots. They do not drag on top. This bio is still somewhat okay. And Hero, he doesn't have a reinforcement line. Not just yet. There, the force field is going to be really nice, but it's a single Archon. That's not enough here. Now the sentries fall. Clem, he withstood the one opportunity from Hero. And now at this point, Hero is still trying to make this happen. Third base lifts up, pulls away. SCVs into the bear. Oh, Clem. SCVs hiding away in the command center, just giving no opportunity. No option for Hero to do any damage. There was like one shot where SCVs were pulling back into the main in that clump, and maybe Hero was going to be able to go and get a big shot off. But even that doesn't happen. Now Widow Mine drop gets found out here by Hero. The medevac eventually is going to fall as these Widow Mines. So nice job there, Hero. It's a good catch. Clem now trying to find more of this drop or this warp in location on the right side. It's not going to get much. And this Widow Mine drop now into the natural here. Hero dealt with the first one. The second one, though, he's just not paying attention. The second time this game, mineral line's just unattended, but it's only 3 workers actually. It could have been worse. Somehow, despite the most minimal splits imaginable, Hero takes 4 probes worth of damage, and he's on 70 probes. Even still, he's got Blink on the way, double Colossus on the way. This actually, he's still got to deal with this thing in the main. If he can withstand this next push, this next attack coming out of here of Clem, and that's the scary bit, but the supplies are not too bad. If he can survive this next push, he's absolutely back in this game. Widow Mine goes off once again. That's going to get 4. That's a little bit more obnoxious. Let's see what's going to happen here. Can Hero hold on to his fourth base right now? He's got a lot of supply, but it's all in the mineral count. It really is just so many zealots. So he's just going to give the position up. He's on 66 workers. He's going to hold on as well as he can. The fourth base cannot survive. But now we're looking at 2 Colossus. Third one on the way. Disruptor's getting added in as well. Hero's kind of fought himself back into a position where this army is okay. Kind of manageable. With a Phoenix on the other side, they're not going to... Oh, they're going to find themselves another medevac. That's really nice. But this drop not going to go into the main base. Not just yet. And there we go. Last the Phoenix. I think it's really cool, by the way, that Hero continues to build Phoenix in this game over and over and over again. He so wishes he hadn't lost the Phoenix to the random Winamine, because he could have trapped about 40 army supply of Clem on the side. Knocked it all off. As now, well, we're going to see another sentry fall down here from the Winamines. Does Clem have an option? He's got 5 Phoenix against 3 Colossus. He's adding in Ghosts. His 2/2's on the way. Hero has an army right now that can absolutely fight. Doesn't want to lose that. Oh, he doesn't want to lose this, though. That's a dead disruptor. That doesn't feel all that great. But now the Viking count's starting to get really nice and tight, really to where you want it to be. Hero's got his fourth base just about up once again. It's now on the 6 o'clock position instead of kind of the 4 o'clock. And he's just going to find this army of Clem, and because EMPs are a thing, I know they're not going to catch as much as they would have pre-patch. I mean, that's something. But even still, because the army is what it is with the Ghost with the EMPs, he didn't feel like he was going to trade well enough, so didn't commit. And by the way, his forges are silent. He is not upgrading anymore. He's on to 1/2. That's going to be the upgrade he's going to have for quite a while here. Clem also on 1/2, but +2 attacks are going to get done decently timed. But on the backside here, Hero, part of his army, he's got to find this army of Clem. But he's now sandwiched just a little bit here. He has to kite away. Disruptor shots not going to land. Just running. Only 1 Colossus remains. Disruptor shots are going to have to be beautiful, and they are. But even still, wait a minute here. Hero takes the fight on the left side. That's part of the army of Clem that just cannot fight, and now it's a fight from one angle. But the Colossus is dead. The splash damage is dead. And we're going to have to reset once again, but Hero up in army supply right now. This is his opportunity once again on the left side. He's going to force Clem to lift this. He's going to force the barracks, or not the barracks. He's going to force the command center to lift the disruptor. Clem, it's a big shot. And again, Hero finds what he needs in this game. Now disruptor shots on the other side, trying to distract Hero, but he's making the comeback happen. He's found a way. He's in the natural right now, but he's going to lose his own base. That double drop 2/2 from the bio is so powerful here. Can he get the planetary? If he gets that, it makes it really, that drop on his base does not matter. But here comes the army of Clem on the backside, trying to get zoned out as much as you can, getting on top of the disruptors. The shots are not gonna land, and the planetary is staying alive. Clem, it's big shots, it's massive shots. He's doing what he can, and Hero's trying to make this comeback. But Clem keeps his planetary alive. His third base burns but does not die. And somehow, some way, Clem stays alive in this game. Somehow, Hero does not break him in that hour of need. And now it's 2/2 versus, well, it's 2/2 versus 1/2. +2 attacks on the way, but that's a little bit slow. More disruptors are on the way right now, but Hero doesn't want to be here. He needs the biggest shots, and in the middle of the map, that's not the fight he wants to take. So certainly, Hero's economy looking a little bit better right now because he just forced the base off a position. But it has to do more than that one. We're going to see Clem remax fairly quickly here. And you look at the supply of Hero, it's a bit of a lie. He's got so many disruptors. They're just now one more supply. 117 army supply out of Hero is not what it was a month ago. So really the better thing to look at here is army value. And yeah, it's a little bit more, but it's not 30 army supply more. Not what you would expect. So Hero, again, he's kind of on this timer even as his economy is decent. So he's going to try to find his way into the natural once again, looking for those shots. Disruptors, be careful, Hero. Don't kill your own zealots as this army of the Terran finds its way back into a corner. This is where the shots might land. Disruptor 1's pretty good here. Clem desperately splitting for his life, doing what he can. Are the splits good enough? I don't know, but Hero seems like he's going to have to be backed up right now. He tried to put the Terran in a corner. It did not work, and now you look at the supplies. 60 to 60, 64 to 64. No longer there's that supply lead. Disruptor does not land. SCVs are going to have to get pulled here. Hero loses another disruptor, has to blink away. But 20 SCVs, they hit the deck. More disruptors are going to fall down. And the Widow Mines on the backside, they clean everything up here. Hero thought he had a timing. He thought he had the window. He thought he had the opportunity. But it's just barely not there. But 3 disruptors on the way to time, adding in Colossus at the end of things because there are no Vikings. Very few remain in this army. In fact, none remain in this army right now. Clem not mining out of the main base at all. Natural, very little. Third base, he's got something there, but again, he's on 44 SCVs. This is, I'm looking at this, and now the army of Clem is terrifying, by the way, just so we're clear. He's up 11 army supply. And there are 6 disruptors out of Hero. This is a significant army supply lead, but Hero on the backside, he wants to see if he can find a medevac. Gets that one. Oh, that's not worth it. That was like 2 or 3 stalkers, big EMPs as well, but run-bys, not even on the reinforcement line. Run-bys on the SCVs are going to continue to be a thorn in Clem's side here. He's not above 50 workers once again. Realistically, it's a 2-base Terran. Hero's got that 5th base on the way, trying to just maintain this economy, this economic position that's allowed him to make these fights happen even as he's taken the damage. But now 2-2's done for Hero. Clem, +3 attack on the way, adding in Vikings one at a time here. But he's got to find more. Actually, it's not even a fair statement necessarily. It's 51 SCVs. He can float his main base over. In fact, I think that's what he's doing right now. No, that's a factory. Never mind. Yeah, he's going to float his main base over to the forward position. He's going to put himself back onto 3 bases once again. So Hero again, kind of on a timer. If this goes to max out, Clem's army will A, be bigger, and B, Hero's army will just be smaller by dint of the disruptor nerf. So you talk about maxed out late game versus maxed out late game. You gotta favor Clem there, especially with the fact that +3 attack is gonna be done very soon. But let's see if he can make something happen right now. But still, he's down 15 army supplies, something like that. Now, granted, he can take a fight here with part of Clem's army before the rest joins the fray. Maybe that's gonna be something. The Viking count is not incredibly inspiring, but look at this round coming out of Clem right now. Hero's got to realize what's happening. He needs to make sure that he backs out in an orderly fashion. Now, disruptors, you know, if you're attacking into them, the shots can be really good, but Clem's splitting so nicely here. Immortals coming in from the backside. That's not going to do it. They're dead immediately here. This is going to do it. Hero gave us so many hopes. He gave us so many dreams, but Clem sets up the surround, sets up the concave, shuts down the timer of Hero. And Clem, in an incredible 19-minute game, he takes game 1. The bottom right here in the blue in this second game of our series. Disregard. This is a 1-0 Clem lead. In the blue for Dragon Kites of Gaming, it's Hero. And with a chance to put it away here, moving on to the money, the EPT points for Team Liquid. His name, Clem. And of course, as we get into this second game of our series, and I can't get over how good game 1 was. If you want more of this, you want more Clem and Hero and Beyond and Cyril and Max Pax and all of these fantastic players, these fantastic games, please make sure to go hit the sub button on YouTube, because most days you will get those games. You'll get those incredible series, those best of 3s, best of 5s, best of 7s if I'm lucky. All over the place. So make sure to hit that sub button, like the video, and let me know how you feel about actually how this matchup now, as we've been seeing things change, evolve. Disruptor's not as good as they used to be, but they certainly took Hero back into the game regardless. And, well, so if you want to catch me live, you can catch me live on YouTube or Twitch. Twitch.tv/BeoMulf or YouTube, where you're watching this right now. Sub to that, and hopefully you'll get a notification when I go live, because multi-streaming is a thing now. Thank you, Twitch, for making that oh so very possible. But for now, Hero's just going to be obnoxious, denying the natural of Clem for just a little bit, but Clem doesn't care. He's open barracks. Well, it's a Reaper expand, but he's got his factory on the way. He's got his command center on the high ground, which actually signals maybe a little bit more shenanigans early on, maybe a little bit more aggression early on. But look at this Hero. He knows the timings. He didn't see that Reaper, by the way. He just knows when the Reaper shows up, so he's going to go for the rescout. Send the probe back into the main base once again, and, well, is he going to get in? Clem lets him in. And now he sees the factory. He sees the command center. Do you see the second gas? I would have, yeah. Hasn't checked second gas, actually. That's kind of the one thing the other thing that you'd like to see, but Hero's going to see it now. He's going to see the starport on the way. So yeah, Hero knows absolutely what's happening. He has this really good sense of just what Clem is doing, and almost getting SCV. Doesn't get it, but almost does. And meanwhile, Reaper thinks about finding its way onto the other side. The probe will fall. I mean, you can't stay alive. You're trapped in. I don't think Hero's going to complain, though. That first probe, you kind of expect to lose it one way or the other, and getting into the main base, getting a full scout, pulling harassing SCVs, pulling them off production a little bit is actually really solid. And we're going to see a Phoenix opener from Hero once again against a Cyclone. Well, actually, multiple Cyclones, and Medevac as well. So Clem's killed Max Packs a couple times with kind of these 1.5 base Cyclone Marine pressure, Cyclone Marine drops. And they are very good against Phoenix openers. I mean, what's a Phoenix going to do against a bunch of Cyclones? You can reactor them out now. I mean, no reactor on the factory right now, but once Clem realizes what's happening, he sees the Phoenix play, you just swap over to reactor out Cyclones, win the game. Is really how this story has been. But for now, what do we have in the medevac? 6 Marines in the medevac. And there we go. There's the lift. There's the vision. Clem knows exactly what's happening right now. And he's still going to go for the drop in the main base. The Cyclones are pretty far behind here. This is surprising, actually. It's very easy to lose this setup. Now, there's no stim, right? The Phoenix, they can just dive on top of this medevac, knock that down. But he's going to try to do what he did in game number 1 with just damage in the natural. Already so many probes. 7 probes go down. Cyclones, they're going to get them. Well, they're not going to get any more probes, but they are going to get the shield battery. They're going to slow down the third base. But now these Cyclones should fall. I don't like how Clem did this, actually. I would have preferred just attacking the front with everything. The Phoenix could not take that fight. Instead, things fall down. Turning in the widening gyre. Clem's center could not hold, and now the Phoenix onto the other side. They're not gonna bust this. Not with 8. Well, they're gonna try, certainly lifting there on the Cyclone. Adepts as well. Marines targeting down the Phoenix as much as they can. And this is, well, does this break? Actually, wait a minute here. The Adepts, they're starting to go down. Now we're gonna see the Viking mass repair here will not fall. Does not break. It was pretty close, actually. Closer than I thought it was gonna be. Oh, we don't have that. But at the end of the day, Hero loses 9 probes. And he loses his Phoenixes. And he lost an Observer. And he traded army for army. That's not a winning strategy if you're the Protoss player. It just, I mean, as we saw in the last game, Hero certainly has this ability to come back into games in ways that just seem nearly miraculous sometimes. But he's going to have to do it again. His third base is so slow. We are 6 minutes in. 6 minutes and 15 seconds in. And Hero has, his third base is only 3/4 of the way done. He's lost his Phoenix. He lost the majority of his Phoenix count. He lost again those probes. So it's going to be on the Colossus. It's going to be on getting onto 4 bases, maybe on taking this game a little bit later, withstanding whatever pressure that at the end of the day, we will eventually see Clem go for. And from that point, I mean, if you can hold on and you can survive the pressure, anything goes, I guess. But much like last game, it's not going to be easy. And this time, this is Phoenix Colossus. This is not Phoenix Charge Lab. This is a much more fragile composition coming out of Hero in this game. So what is this on the right side? 8 Marines in a medevac drop on the right side. They just found their way around the Phoenix here. Now 1 Marine will fall. Yeah, something. But by doing this move out as he is, Clem's kind of keeping the Phoenix on the other side of the map. By making this pressure happen as he has, he's unlocked the main base right now. 8 Marines right on into it, but there's a shield battery, and overcharge is going to be pretty solid. Some Marines, they're going to have to target that down first, and that buys time. And that buys a tremendous amount of time here, so everything is in the main, but hey, Hero, don't look now. You got a ton of pressure at your third. That's a problem. So, yeah, Hero holds on to the main base as well as he can. This third, though, seems very dead. What of mines? They're not going to get both sentries, but they're going to get one. And yeah, there we go. 13 probes dead. Base is dead. And I think Clem's going to be pretty happy about that one. And the Phoenix are falling here as well. So kiting backwards as well as they can. Zealots, they don't have charge. The Colossus now, they're going to get jumped on top of by all these Marauders. Shield battery overcharge not ready. 1 Colossus goes down. And Clem could back up if he wants at this point. He could decide to go a little bit later, be okay with that. Instead, he continues to rally. Now, we got to point this out. Now, okay, he's doing it again. All through that push, Clem had his third base. The SCV was killed by the Phoenix. He was not building that third. But now Hero again, he's in this awkward position where he's got to make some crazy counterattack. I don't think he withstands this game. I don't think he holds on to this game if he just tries to mac her up again and make something happen. I don't think that's... Oh, Widow Mines. Only one's going to go off. Is this a Storm game? That's the next question we ask ourselves here. Is Hero is going and going a little bit further along. Is this a Storm game? Or is this just going to be for Archons? Now, Ghosts are already out on the map, but again, they've been nerfed a little bit. They're not, or they're finding their way onto the map, and you know, they've been nerfed a little bit. The EMP splash radius is not as big as it has been in the past, but even still, even with the buffs to movement speed that High Templar have and everything else, I don't think Storm is going to be all that impact. You need something. You need some surprise there. Phoenix. Well, now there's nothing to buffer for the Colossus, but the Vikings, the Phoenix, are in fact dead. But it seems like the High Templar here, they're just going to be for feedbacks maybe. They're going to be for Archons, but no Storm. And again, it feels like Hero does need some sort of X factor. And okay, no, we'll be Storm on the way. Now, this War Prism's dead. That's not going to be an option that Hero's going to have. And this army out of Clem is arriving right now. A Storm is not going to be done for a while. And the High Templar, they're with the army. They can get EMP'd. Even still, the Vikings on the high ground. Shield battery overcharge is not keeping these Colossus safe. One will go down. And again, because the Phoenix have died, there's not really much of anything to buffer for it. In fact, there's no anti-air at all. So yeah, the Zealots on the other side, they're going to cancel this fourth base maybe. They're going to be annoying. But I don't know how much more they're going to be able to do than that. So for now, feedback on the Ghost. That's something. Storm on the way. I'm not convinced this is going to be allowed to complete, though. But, you know, the Zealots on the other side, they've forced a bunch of workers out of the natural. They haven't killed anything, but they forced the workers out. And that's something they've forced Clem to not continuously rally right here. But 1 Colossus still remains. Storm is done. Problem is, though, we have no High Templar. They were all forced to convert to Archons, and they just died. So yeah, the Zealots are great. But at the end of the day, they didn't kill much. They traded army for army, so now Clem brings the rest of his army back home to get the last Zealot, maybe. He's looking for that opportunity to go and find something, and just... Hero is just... He's got to find some way to keep his opponent back home. Find a big flank, maybe. I think it's got to be a big storm flank. I think at the end of the day, that has to be the solution. High Templar in a Warp Prism coming in from behind Clem's army, dropping storms on the head, Colossus beams before they get shot down, doing the rest, and maybe that's going to be enough. But even that, I mean, that feels like really strong Protoss copium right now. I don't know how Hero is supposed to hold on to this, as now the Vikings run forward once again. Now, Shield Battery completes in the nick of time, and Overcharge is really nice. But the storms have to be so good. And they just whiff. And now triple drop into the main base as well. So Hero, his army's not big enough to fight one army of Clem. And now as it splits up here, its army's definitely not big enough. Now friendly fire and the Widow Mines they're pretty nice. This High Templar is maybe going to be able to drop a storm. But even then, the storm doesn't do much, and 15 probes go down. So Clem just moving from strength to strength here. He's got his 4th base done, and this is how some TVPs end up. When the Terran's in a dominant position, as another Colossus goes down, where the Terran finds himself in this dominant position. But because of rallies and because the map is long enough, and because the Protoss just has this really solid defensive position, you really can't kill the Protoss, but they're dead anyways. Like, look at this. Look at the supply coming out of Hero right now. The storms are just not good enough, and this might actually do it. Finally here, Clem might have, for the last time, broken Hero. All the splash is dead. Storms are gonna be okay, but there's nothing left. Clem takes the 2-0. Hero makes almost a miraculous comeback in game 1, but game 2, much more Clem-sided. 2-0. He moves on to the round of 4.